Ladies and friends and fellow dreamer, I stand here before you today with a heart full of gratitude and a message I believe can transform your life. I want to talk to you about something that we all need, regardless of where we come from, what challenges we face, or what dreams we carry in our hearts. And that is mental toughness. You see, life is not a straight path. It never has been. We don't get to choose the obstacles we encounter, but we do get to decide how we respond to them. I've been through things that most people would call impossible to overcome. And I know what it feels like to be knocked down, to feel the weight of life's hardships pulling you down. But I also know the power of resilience. I know that being mentally tough isn't about avoiding pain or difficulty. It's about how we rise when the world expects us to stay down. Mental toughness doesn't mean we don't cry. It doesn't mean we don't feel pain. In fact, it means embracing those moments, allowing ourselves to feel, to heal, and then to keep moving forward, step by step. I remember a time when I felt completely lost. My body had been broken, but what was more painful was the brokenness I felt within: doubts, fears, feelings of inadequacy. I felt as though I was no longer the person I once was. I was scared to face the world, scared that I would never be enough again. But I had one thing going for me: my mind. I chose to stop looking at my situation as a limitation. I chose to see it as an opportunity, a chance to rebuild, to redefine who I was. That's where true mental toughness comes from, the choice to rise again, not in spite of your challenges, but because of them. When we talk about becoming mentally tough, it's about building the kind of mindset that refuses to give up when things get hard. It's about embracing setbacks as lessons, not failures. You have the power to create a story of strength, not because of the ease of your journey, but because of the depth of your resilience. Mental toughness means believing in yourself even when others doubt you. It means moving forward with courage even when the path ahead seems uncertain. It means trusting that every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. And most importantly, it means realizing that even in our darkest moments, we have the ability to shine our light. But this mental toughness, this power we talk about, it doesn't come overnight. It is forged through perseverance, through pushing past comfort zones, through choosing action over fear. It is born in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when it's just you and your mind, and you decide that you will not be defeated. You have an incredible strength within you. It's already there. You just have to tap into it. So let's stop looking for reasons to hold ourselves back. Let's stop listening to the voices that tell us we can't. Instead, let's become the voices that speak words of courage, determination, and strength. Let's turn our struggles into fuel, our pain into power, and our setbacks into comebacks. Because being mentally tough isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about taking everything life throws at you and rising higher. Let's commit today to becoming mentally tough, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. We have the power to make a difference, not because we are perfect, but because we are resilient. And that resilience, that mental toughness, is what will carry us forward no matter the storm. Life is full of challenges, some big, some small, some expected, and others that completely blindside us. We often find ourselves caught in the midst of a storm, unsure of how we will make it through. It is in these moments of difficulty that our true strength is tested. How we respond to these challenges defines not just our ability to overcome them, but our ability to grow from them. Embracing challenges as opportunities for growth is the key to transforming hardships into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. We live in a world that celebrates success and rewards those who seem to have it all together. But what many fail to realize is that success is rarely a result of a smooth journey. It is often the outcome of persevering through hardship, overcoming obstacles, and learning from mistakes. When we look at people who have achieved greatness in their fields, we often see only the final product, not the years of struggle, failure, and effort that shaped them into who they are. We fail to see the raw, real moments of doubt, fear, and pain that came before the triumph. It's important to recognize that challenges are an inevitable part of life. No one is exempt. But how we approach them makes all the difference. There's a mindset we must adopt, a mindset that allows us to look at challenges not as something to be feared, but as something that can teach us. It's about shifting our perspective from why is this happening to me to what can I learn from this. When we start viewing challenges through the lens of growth, we begin to see that they hold valuable lessons we wouldn't be able to learn otherwise. Take, for example, the moment you find yourself facing something you never expected. Perhaps it's a setback in your career, an unexpected loss, or a personal failure. The initial reaction is often one of fear, frustration, or anger. These emotions are natural, but they are also temporary. If we allow ourselves to sit in these emotions for too long, we risk missing the deeper lessons that the challenge is offering. Challenges are not meant to punish us, they are meant to push us beyond our current limits, to teach us resilience, adaptability, and perseverance. Think about the process of growth itself. In nature, we see this principle at work all the time. A seed must break through the soil to become a plant. It doesn't grow by remaining sheltered underground. It must push through the dirt, face the pressure, and stretch itself beyond its comfort zone. This process is not easy for the seed, but it is essential for its growth. If the seed were to remain in the soil, it would never reach its potential. It's the same for us as individuals. Our growth requires us to push through the challenges that come our way. These challenges are the forces that shape us, refine us, and help us become the people we are meant to be. There is a famous saying that goes, "The greater the obstacle, the greater the glory in overcoming it." This speaks to the truth that the challenges we face have the potential to unlock something greater within us. Every time we face something difficult, we are presented with an opportunity to grow in ways we couldn't have imagined before. It is easy to want to avoid challenges, to seek comfort and ease. But the most profound growth happens when we step into discomfort, when we face the very things that scare us, and when we allow ourselves to struggle. It is through this struggle that we become stronger. When we embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, we begin to see failure in a new light. Failure is often viewed as something to be avoided at all costs, but it is actually one of the most powerful teachers we can have. Every failure carries with it a lesson that can propel us forward if we are willing to learn from it. It is through failure that we gain the knowledge and wisdom to avoid making the same mistakes in the future. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of our inadequacy, we can choose to see it as a necessary step in the process of achieving our goals. Failure is not final unless we let it be. It is simply a part of the journey toward success. The journey toward growth through challenges is not always easy. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to face discomfort head-on. But with each step, we grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever comes next. Challenges are not something to be feared, they are something to be embraced because they have the power to bring out the best in us. When we face challenges, we are forced to tap into strengths we didn't know we had. We learn to rely on our own resourcefulness, creativity, and determination. We become more adaptable and flexible, able to navigate the ups and downs of life with greater ease. And as we grow, we become better equipped to handle future challenges, knowing that we have the ability to face them with courage and strength. A critical aspect of embracing challenges as opportunities for growth is understanding that growth is not always linear. There are times when we will feel like we're moving forward and other times when we'll feel stuck or like we're going backward. This is a natural part of the process. Just as we don't expect a plant to grow in a straight line, we shouldn't expect our personal growth to follow a smooth path. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and setbacks. But even in those moments, we are still growing. The discomfort we feel is often a sign that we are on the verge of breakthrough. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing challenges is that it helps us build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going in the face of difficulty, and to maintain hope even when things seem bleak. It's a trait that allows us to move through life's challenges with grace and determination. But resilience doesn't come from avoiding challenges, it comes from experiencing them, learning from them, and using them as stepping stones to greater strength. When we face hardship and choose to continue, we develop the resilience that will carry us through future challenges. Resilience is not a trait that we are born with, it is something that we cultivate over time. And it is cultivated by embracing challenges, not running from them. Every time we overcome an obstacle, we become more resilient. Every time we push ourselves to go a little further, a little harder, we strengthen our ability to bounce back from whatever comes next. It is through this process of facing challenges that we develop the mental toughness necessary to handle life's inevitable ups and downs. By embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, we also begin to recognize that we are capable of so much more than we think. Often, the only limits we face are the ones we place on ourselves. We tell ourselves that we can't handle certain challenges, that we're not strong enough, or that we're not ready. But the truth is, we are more capable than we give ourselves credit for. The challenges we face are not designed to break us, they are designed to help us realize our own potential. They push us to expand our limits, to think outside the box, and to find solutions we wouldn't have considered before. Every time we rise to meet a challenge, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we thought. And with each success, we build confidence in our ability to face future challenges. This confidence is essential for our growth. It allows us to take on even bigger challenges with the belief that we can overcome them. The more challenges we embrace, the more we believe in ourselves, and the more we are capable of achieving. Ultimately, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth requires a shift in mindset. It requires us to see difficulties not as obstacles but as catalysts for change and growth. It requires us to understand that hardship is not something to avoid but something to embrace. When we do this, we free ourselves from the fear and doubt that often hold us back. We begin to see challenges not as burdens but as the tools that shape us into stronger, wiser, and more capable individuals. As we face the inevitable challenges that life will throw our way, let us remember that they are not here to break us, they are here to make us. Embrace them with open arms, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. You are capable of more than you think. Embrace the challenge and let it transform you. When life gets tough, it can feel as though the weight of the world is pressing down on us. There are moments when everything seems to be going wrong, and no matter how hard we try, we just can't seem to catch a break. During these times, it's easy to feel defeated, to feel as though we've reached our limit and there's nothing left to give. But it is precisely in these moments of adversity that our true strength is revealed. Mental toughness is not about avoiding setbacks or always staying positive. It's about rising after every fall, finding the strength to get up and keep going, even when everything seems to be working against us. When we face challenges, there is often an initial wave of despair or doubt. We question our abilities, our worth, and our future. It can feel like the setbacks are insurmountable, that they define who we are or what we are capable of. But mental toughness is about rejecting that narrative. It's about understanding that setbacks are not the end of the story, they are just temporary. The ability to bounce back after facing setbacks is one of the most important skills we can cultivate, and it's what ultimately determines how we move forward in life. The key to rising after setbacks is to change the way we perceive them. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of our inability, we can choose to see it as a stepping stone on the path to success. It's in these moments of difficulty that we are presented with the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to adapt. The process of rising after a setback is not just about getting back up, but also about discovering what we are truly made of. It's in these moments that we find out how much strength and resilience we really have. One of the most powerful aspects of mental toughness is the ability to turn setbacks into lessons. Every failure, no matter how small, carries with it valuable insights that we can apply moving forward. These lessons might not always be immediately clear, and sometimes they only make sense in hindsight, but every experience, good or bad, contributes to our growth. When we approach setbacks as opportunities to learn, we allow ourselves to develop the resilience that will carry us through future challenges. Resilience is often misunderstood. It is not about being invulnerable to pain or hardship. It's about acknowledging the pain, the disappointment, the frustration, and then deciding to rise above it. It's about the decision to keep moving forward despite the obstacles in our way. Resilience doesn't mean we won't face tough times or moments of weakness. It means that even when we feel like giving up, we find the strength to continue. It's about getting up, dusting ourselves off, and trying again with more wisdom and determination than before. When setbacks happen, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt and negative thinking. We start to believe that we aren't good enough or that we'll never succeed. But mental toughness teaches us to avoid these destructive thoughts and to replace them with belief in our own ability to persevere. It's about knowing that setbacks do not define us and that we have the power to rise above them. This belief is what gives us the courage to face new challenges head on, to try again after we fail, and to keep pushing forward even when things feel impossible. Rising after a setback also involves learning to be patient with ourselves. When we experience failure or disappointment, it's easy to feel frustrated or discouraged. We may think that we should be able to overcome challenges immediately, or that we should bounce back without taking time to process what has happened. But true mental toughness is about giving ourselves permission to heal, to reflect, and to regroup. We need to acknowledge the emotions that come with setbacks, but we also need to remember that they don't have to hold us back. Taking the time to process setbacks allows us to better understand what went wrong and what we can do differently next time. It also allows us to build the mental strength necessary to face future challenges. Rushing through the process of healing can leave us unprepared for the obstacles that lie ahead. It's in our moments of reflection and recovery that we gain the clarity and the perspective we need to rise again. Another important aspect of rising after setbacks is finding support. We often try to go through life's challenges alone, believing that we must handle everything by ourselves. But the reality is, we don't have to face adversity in isolation. Having a support system, whether it's friends, family, mentors, or even a therapist, can provide the encouragement and strength we need to keep going. When we face setbacks, it's not a sign of weakness to reach out for help. In fact, it takes strength to acknowledge when we need support and to lean on others during difficult times. Mental toughness doesn't mean you have to do everything alone or never feel down. It means recognizing when you need help and allowing yourself the grace to ask for it. It means understanding that setbacks are part of life and that asking for support is a way to fortify your own resilience. Rising after a setback involves not only finding the strength within ourselves, but also leaning on others when necessary to rebuild our confidence and determination. When we talk about rising after setbacks, we also have to recognize the importance of taking small steps forward. After facing a setback, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of what's ahead. But trying to tackle everything at once can lead to burnout or further frustration. Instead, mental toughness is about taking one small step at a time, building momentum slowly but steadily. Each small victory adds up, and before we know it, we've made significant progress. The journey to recovery after a setback is rarely linear. There will be days when we feel like we've made great strides, and there will be days when we feel like we've taken 2 steps back. That's okay. What matters is that we continue to rise. What matters is that we don't let one setback define us or stop us from moving forward. Every time we get up, no matter how many times we fall, we are strengthening our resolve and our ability to keep going. In the end, rising after setbacks is about resilience, determination, and belief in our ability to overcome adversity. It's not about being perfect or never failing. It's about continuing to move forward, learning from each setback and growing stronger with each step we take. It's about knowing that even when we fall, we have the power to rise again. Mental toughness is often associated with being fearless, unshakable, and always able to push through. But in reality, mental toughness is about embracing discomfort and pushing forward despite fear. It's about choosing action over fear, especially in moments when doubt, anxiety, and uncertainty seem overwhelming. Fear is a natural response to the unknown or when we're faced with challenges that push us out of our comfort zone. But it's in these very moments that mental toughness is truly tested. The act of choosing to move forward, to take that step, even when the path is unclear, is what separates those who thrive from those who remain stuck. The most challenging part of any journey is often the moment right before we take the first step. We can spend so much time thinking about all the potential obstacles, imagining all the worst-case scenarios, and allowing our minds to get bogged down in doubt. We hesitate, waiting for the perfect moment, for the right circumstances to align before taking any action. The truth is that perfect moment rarely arrives. Instead of waiting for the stars to align, mental toughness involves making the decision to act despite fear. It's about moving forward in spite of the uncertainty that lies ahead. This kind of action requires courage. It's easy to sit on the sidelines, to stay in our comfort zones and avoid taking risks. But the truth is, growth never happens in our comfort zones. It happens when we stretch ourselves, when we try new things, and when we face the unknown head-on. Each time we take action in the face of fear, we not only make progress in our goals, but also prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we imagined. Each action we take builds our resilience and gives us the confidence to take the next step, no matter how difficult it may seem. Fear is often rooted in uncertainty and the unknown. We fear what we cannot control or predict, and that fear can paralyze us. But mental toughness teaches us that we don't need to have all the answers before we act. The key is to just take that first step and trust that the next one will become clearer as we move forward. Action does not require perfection. It does not require complete clarity of the entire journey. It simply requires the courage to begin, even if that first step feels small or insignificant. When we choose action over fear, we also begin to learn from our experiences. Even if the path we take doesn't lead to the desired result, we gain valuable insights along the way. Each decision, whether it leads to success or failure, provides a lesson that helps us grow and become more capable of navigating future challenges. We begin to see that fear is not a barrier to success, but a part of the process. The more we face our fears, the less power they have over us. Mental toughness involves being able to differentiate between rational fear and irrational fear. Fear is a natural response when we are faced with real danger, but fear can also be a product of our own imaginations. Sometimes the fear we feel is not a reflection of reality, but a byproduct of our anxieties, past experiences, or limiting beliefs. This is where mental toughness becomes crucial. We need to learn to identify when our fear is real and when it is simply a story we've created in our minds. Recognizing the difference allows us to move forward in spite of fear, understanding that much of what we fear is not as dangerous as we perceive it to be. It's important to understand that taking action in the face of fear doesn't mean we are fearless. It simply means that we are choosing to act despite our fear. We may still feel anxious, uncertain, or overwhelmed, but we don't let those emotions control our decisions. Instead, we recognize that fear is just one part of the equation, and we use our determination, willpower, and resilience to take the next step forward. In these moments, mental toughness allows us to keep moving, even when every part of us wants to retreat. The act of choosing action over fear also helps us build momentum. At first, it may seem like a struggle. The initial steps may feel slow, or the progress may appear insignificant. But with each small action, we build momentum that propels us forward. The more we act in spite of our fear, the more we reinforce our belief in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. Over time, this momentum becomes a powerful force that makes it easier to continue taking action, even in the face of new fears or challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of choosing action over fear is that it shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what could go right. Fear often makes us focus on the worst-case scenarios, on everything that could fail or fall apart. But when we take action, we shift our focus to the possibilities that lie ahead. We begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. We start to believe in our ability to navigate the challenges rather than being overwhelmed by them. This shift in perspective is key to developing mental toughness. It allows us to remain focused on the positive outcomes and growth that can come from our actions rather than being paralyzed by the fear of failure. Taking action also teaches us patience. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't happen immediately or when progress feels slow. But mental toughness involves understanding that results don't always come quickly. Success, growth, and change often take time. Taking consistent action, even when we don't see immediate results, is a sign of mental strength. It's about trusting the process, knowing that each small action is moving us closer to where we want to be, even if we can't yet see the full picture. Action over fear is about understanding that the only way to truly fail is to not take any action at all. Strength is not something that can be forged in easy times. It is not built when everything is going smoothly, when life is calm and predictable. The true essence of strength is shaped in moments of solitude and struggle, when we are left to face our challenges alone. It is in these moments of hardship that we are pushed to dig deeper within ourselves, to find the reserves of resilience and determination that we often don't realize we possess. Struggles, though uncomfortable and difficult, are the very things that shape us into stronger, more capable individuals. There is an undeniable power in struggle. We often think of strength as something that comes from triumphs or victories, but real strength is forged in the battles we face, in the dark times when there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel. When everything around us feels uncertain, when we are alone with our thoughts and doubts, that is when we are truly tested. It is in these moments that we have to make a choice, either to give in to despair or to rise above and find a way forward. One of the most profound aspects of struggle is that it forces us to confront parts of ourselves that we may not want to face. When everything is easy, it's easy to remain comfortable, to avoid facing our own weaknesses and insecurities. But when we are in the midst of a struggle, those things come to the surface. We are forced to examine our fears, our limitations, and our doubts. It's a painful process, but it's also a necessary one. It is through facing these challenges that we gain clarity about who we are and what we are truly capable of. The strength we develop is not only physical or mental, it is emotional and spiritual, built on the foundation of having faced hardship and emerged stronger from it. It's easy to think of strength as something that comes from external sources, from our circumstances, from the support of others, or from the approval of those around us. But the real strength lies within us. It is the strength we discover when we have no one else to rely on but ourselves. It is the inner resolve that emerges when we realize that we have to keep going, even when everything seems to be falling apart. We may not always have control over the situations we face, but we always have control over how we respond to them. This is where true strength is born. The moments of struggle in life are often when we experience the greatest growth. It is easy to become complacent in times of peace, to think that we have everything figured out, that we have reached a place of stability. But stability doesn't lead to growth, struggle does. Struggle forces us to adapt, to become more resourceful, and to find new ways of thinking and approaching problems. It challenges us to evolve into better versions of ourselves. Without struggle, there would be no reason to change or grow. It's through these difficult moments that we discover strengths we didn't know we had and learn lessons that shape our character. In times of struggle, it's common to feel as though we are weak, as though we cannot continue. We may be overwhelmed by the weight of our challenges, and the idea of moving forward might seem impossible. But it's important to remember that struggling does not mean we are weak, it means we are human. Everyone experiences struggles, and no one is exempt from hardship. What defines us is how we respond to these struggles. The act of persevering through difficulty, of refusing to give up, is what builds strength. Strength is not about never feeling pain or fear. It's about feeling those emotions and choosing to keep moving forward anyway. It's about learning to carry the burden even when it seems too heavy and finding ways to push through. It's about embracing discomfort, understanding that growth often requires us to stretch beyond what is easy or familiar. When we learn to push ourselves through tough times, we begin to realize that we are capable of handling more than we ever thought possible. One of the most powerful things about struggle is that it gives us perspective. When everything is easy, it's easy to take things for granted. But when we face adversity, we are forced to appreciate the things we often overlook, the small victories, the simple joys, and the strength we didn't know we had. Struggle has a way of clarifying what truly matters. It strips away the distractions and forces us to focus on what is important, what we value, and what we need to do to get through difficult times. This clarity is part of the strength that we build during struggle. It is through struggle that we find our purpose, our drive, and our ability to overcome whatever comes our way. Solitude plays a significant role in the process of building strength. In moments of struggle, we are often alone with our thoughts, our emotions, and our fears. While this can feel isolating, it is also an opportunity for deep self-reflection. It's in these moments of solitude that we truly come face to face with who we are and who we want to become. The time we spend alone allows us to reflect on our values, our motivations, and our goals. It's in solitude that we learn to trust ourselves, to tap into our inner strength, and to find the courage to continue moving forward, even when the path is unclear. The strength we develop in struggle is not only about enduring pain, but about learning to use it as fuel for growth. It's about turning adversity into a source of power. When we face hardship, we can choose to be broken by it, or we can choose to let it strengthen us. We can use our struggles as the foundation upon which we build our resilience, our perseverance, and our courage. This is the true power of struggle. It transforms us. It shapes us into individuals who are not only capable of handling challenges, but who thrive in the face of them. We must recognize that the path to strength is not an easy one. There will be times when the struggle feels insurmountable, when the weight of our challenges feels too heavy to bear. But it is in these moments that we are being forged. Just as steel must go through intense heat and pressure to become stronger, so must we. The struggles we face, though difficult, are the very things that shape us, refine us, and turn us into the individuals we are meant to be. And it is in this process of transformation that our true strength is revealed. Through our struggles, we grow into the best versions of ourselves. Mental toughness is not something that simply happens overnight. It is not a trait that we are born with or something that is given to us. It is a skill, a mindset, and an approach to life that is developed over time through hard work, perseverance, and experience. Building mental toughness requires consistency and a deep commitment to facing challenges head-on, no matter how difficult they may seem. It's about learning to embrace discomfort and adversity, and using those moments to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. One of the first steps in building mental toughness is developing the ability to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. Life is full of obstacles, and no one can avoid facing difficulties along the way. However, it is our reaction to these challenges that truly defines us. When we run from challenges, we miss opportunities for growth. But when we face them, when we step into the discomfort, we allow ourselves to learn, to improve, and to come out stronger on the other side. Each challenge we face is an opportunity to build our mental toughness, to prove to ourselves that we have the strength and resilience to overcome whatever life throws our way. It's important to understand that challenges do not always look the way we expect them to. Sometimes the greatest tests come not in the form of grand struggles, but in the small, everyday obstacles that we must navigate. These can be moments of frustration, setbacks in our work or personal life, or situations where we feel misunderstood or unsupported. While these smaller challenges might not seem as significant as major life crises, they still present an opportunity to build mental strength. It is in these moments, when things feel tedious or overwhelming, that we are given the chance to practice perseverance, patience, and self-discipline. Each time we push through the smaller challenges, we are strengthening our mental muscles, preparing ourselves for the more significant obstacles that lie ahead. Another key element in building mental toughness is the ability to maintain focus and discipline, especially when motivation begins to wane. Motivation is powerful, but it is often fleeting. It comes in waves, and it's easy to feel inspired and energized when everything is going well. However, when things get tough or progress slows down, motivation can disappear. Mental toughness is about continuing to show up, even when motivation is low. It is about developing habits and routines that help us stay on track, even when our enthusiasm wanes. This consistency is what ultimately leads to success. It's the ability to keep moving forward, one small step at a time, even when we don't feel like it. Whether it's showing up to work every day, sticking to a fitness routine, or maintaining healthy relationships, mental toughness is about staying committed to the process, even when the rewards aren't immediate or visible. One of the most powerful aspects of mental toughness is the ability to keep pushing through adversity without giving up. Life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect it. Whether it's a setback in our career, a personal loss, or an unexpected challenge, adversity is inevitable. But mental toughness is about developing the mindset that no matter what happens, we will not give up. It's about having the determination and grit to keep moving forward, even when everything seems to be falling apart. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing the emotions that come with adversity. It simply means acknowledging the difficulty of the situation, feeling the pain, and still choosing to move forward despite it. It's the decision to keep fighting for what we believe in, even when the road gets tough. Building mental toughness also involves learning to manage and control our thoughts. Our minds have a powerful influence over our actions, and our thoughts can either propel us forward or hold us back. Negative thinking, self-doubt, and fear can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action or pursuing our goals. On the other hand, positive and empowering thoughts can fuel our determination, help us stay focused, and give us the courage to keep going. The key to mental toughness is recognizing the power of our thoughts and learning to control them. When we catch ourselves thinking negatively, we have the ability to shift our mindset and reframe the situation in a way that empowers us. Instead of focusing on the obstacles, we focus on the opportunities. Instead of giving in to fear, we choose courage. This ability to manage our thoughts is crucial in building mental toughness, as it enables us to stay on course, even when things feel difficult or uncertain. Another essential component of mental toughness is resilience, the ability to bounce back after setbacks. Resilience is not about avoiding failure or disappointment. It's about learning to recover from it quickly and using it as a learning experience. Failure is inevitable. Everyone experiences it at some point in their life, and it is not something to be feared. In fact, failure is often the greatest teacher. It shows us where we need to improve, where we need to adapt, and where we need to change our approach. The key is to view failure as a stepping stone on the path to success, rather than as a permanent setback. Resilience allows us to quickly recover from failure, to get back up, and to keep moving forward with renewed determination. The more resilient we become, the easier it is to face adversity and overcome challenges in the future. Equally important in building mental toughness is the ability to stay calm under pressure. Life often requires us to make important decisions quickly, to act decisively, and to remain composed when faced with uncertainty or stress. The ability to stay calm in these high-pressure situations is an essential aspect of mental toughness. It allows us to think clearly, to assess the situation rationally, and to make informed decisions rather than reacting out of fear or panic.